Hey everyone, this is Lynn Bartown, and you are listening to the A.P.E.X. Hour on KSUU Thunder 91.1. In this show, you get more personal time with the guests who visit Southern Utah University from all over, learning more about their stories and opinions beyond their presentations on stage. We will also give you some new music to listen to and hope to turn you on to some new sounds and new genres. You can find us here every Thursday at 3 p.m., on the web at suu.edu/apex, or email us at suuapex@icloud.com. But for now, welcome to this week's show here on Thunder 91.1. All right. Well, welcome back. Here we are. And it's February 15th. Happy belated Valentine's Day, I guess, if you can say that. This is Lynn Vartan, and I'm here in the studio with you today, and I'm joined by a couple of guests. But first, my little recap of how our event went today. We had a super awesome, exciting event today. We had Zion Park Superintendent Jeff Bradybaugh in talking about all things Zion, and just we had some interesting conversations about preservation and conservation and some of the challenges facing Zion Park today and his experiences as the superintendent. So we're continuing our discussion today with talking more about the outdoors and about all things parks and outdoor rec and outdoor education and partnerships and SUU. And to that end, I have two awesome guests. I have Kevin and Bridget in the studio, and I'll let them introduce themselves, whichever would like to go first. Bridget, how about you?
Hi, I'm Bridget Eastep. I have the best title on campus. It's Director of Outdoor Engagement.
Yeah.
My whole purpose on campus is to connect the campus community to learn in the outdoors. And I have an awesome title because everybody tells me everything that they do in the outdoors every time I walk across campus.
That is so cool. And Kevin, how about you?
My name is Kevin Kuntz. I'm the outdoor educational liaison here
also
on campus.
Also a cool job title.
That's a pretty good job title, yeah. Which means I get to be involved with all of the different outdoor-related initiatives that SUU puts together, whether it be the Semester in the Parks program, a little bit with the IIC, which is the Intergovernmental Internship Cooperative that we have, the Adventure Orientation Program, which has switched over to the T-Bird Outdoor Connection.
Cool.
So a little bit of everything outdoors related, which is fun.
That's awesome. I can't wait to hear about all of those things, and we're going to get into each one of them. How long have both of you guys been at SUU?
I've been here this is my 11th year.
Oh, cool. About the same time as me. This is my 10th. So yeah cool.
I've been here for 6 now.
Okay.
I did my undergraduate work here and then my master's, and then I continued on to work. So
awesome. Well, it's keeping it in the family.
Right.
And he's an outdoor rec major, so that's important.
That's true.
Oh yeah. So let's get into it a little bit and talk about, let's see, there's so many different ways. Let's start with academically first, maybe. And maybe you can tell us a little bit about what SUU offers in terms of academic programs that students can get involved in.
You know, the way that I like to explain it.
Oh, cool.
Is that we have everything at SUU from, hey, I just want to learn about the outdoors and do an adventure, which is SU Outdoors. We have, on the other end, the career development part, which is outdoor recreation and parks and tourism, is one of the degrees, but there's also a number of other degrees that you can go do it. And then in the middle, we have the Outdoor Engagement Center, which is creating experiential education programs to, I guess, help both ends of those folks in it. So there's the people that just want to learn and have fun in the outdoors. There's the people that want to learn and add us to their skill base in the outdoors. And then there's the people that want to dedicate their lives to it. And in that, SUU's got a great outdoor recreation program. There's a lot of different things that you can do in biology, from conservation to becoming a wildlife biologist. But then there's also agriculture sciences, hotel and hospitality management, the equine sciences, geology. So there's a lot of different ways that you can take that career path.
Well, let's kind of make little scenarios. So let's say I'm a student who just wants to go camping with other students at SUU. What do I do if I'm that student?
So there's a couple of things. A couple of ways to approach that. There's the Trips and Adventures program, which is offered through SU Outdoors, which those trips are put together by students who have kind of been trained and prepared to put those trips together, and they pick where they want to go and how long they want to spend there, and then there's not really a whole lot of the student who wants to go on that trip doesn't really have to give anything other than their time. There's no cost to that. So anything that they need, the gear, the equipment, it's all going to be provided. The transportation is going to be provided. The expertise of, if it's a climbing activity or a mountain biking activity, that expertise and that training is also going to be provided. So there's no experience necessary. And
you just need to be an SU student.
Just have to be an SU student. And dedicate maybe a Saturday afternoon to it.
That's amazing. I didn't realize, excuse my ignorance, I didn't realize it was all inclusive in that way. Okay, so the students who are listening or who listen to the podcast, which by the way, I don't know if I mentioned that we are totally subscribable on iTunes now. So do the search, SU A.P.E.X. and subscribe. But so for anybody listening, how do they go ahead and do that? They go...
So to sign up for those trips, they go to they can visit with SU Outdoors here in the student center. Right across from the Welcome Center is the spot where they can walk in. There's a calendar full of trips. There's usually about 2 trips per weekend. So whether it's a climbing, like I said, like a climbing trip or a mountain biking trip or a canyoneering trip, sometimes it's an overnight backpacking or just camping. They can go in there to sign up for the trips. The trips open 2 weeks in advance.
Okay. So everybody look at your calendar. Next time you're coming to get your lunch in the Charwan, just go right up to the desk and take a look and see what's offered. That's amazing. Tell me more about what SU Outdoors offers.
So another great opportunity through SU Outdoors is the rental shop. So if you don't want to, if you and your roommates or you and a couple of your pals want to go camping, but you don't want to go through one of the university-sponsored trips, you can pick up stuff at the rental shop and just, you don't have to own it. Everything's priced with a student budget in mind, and you can get a tent, some sleeping bags, a cook set, a stove, all the things that you would need to have a comfortable, successful camping trip. But again, you don't have to worry about I don't own that gear. That stuff's expensive. I can't afford that with a student budget. That's why it's here. That's
great. Just go to the desk and see so there's camping gear. How about rafting or river gear? What other stuff?
Yeah, they carry stand-up paddle boards, kayaks, backpacks, inflatable sleds for this time of year, which are really cool.
Oh, wow.
We've got...
They go really fast.
They do go fast. We carry overshoes, which if you don't have the proper footwear to go out and be comfortable in the snow, they carry overshoes that you can just slip over a pair of Vans or a pair of Converse.
It turns any shoe into like a winter shoe.
A waterproof winter shoe, yeah.
That's so cool. What about other things? Are there bikes? I mean, I just don't even know. Tell us your inventory.
Well, we don't carry bikes, but we do partner with Cedar Sport here in town and Cedar Cycle for bikes. They both carry bikes and rent them. So we usually refer folks over to those local businesses to support them.
Great.
But yeah, just about any kind of outdoor piece of equipment that you would want or even want to try. Right. It's a pretty elaborate inventory.
That's amazing. Okay, well, thanks for letting me know about that. And then let's put another scenario together. Let's say I'm a student who has some experience and sort of wants to get a little more involved, maybe wants to take some classes. What does that student do?
There's some really great classes within Outdoor Rec. They're ORPT 2000, and they're skill development courses. And then there's also some 1,000 level and 2,000 level courses that have their own standalone calling. But you can take courses in backpacking, scuba diving, climbing.
Scuba diving?
Yep.
Where do we do that?
Sand Hollow, so not far, just real close to St. George, and they've got a sunken bus and a sunken airplane that the students can swim through and check out as they certify.
No way! I had no idea. That's amazing. Okay, well maybe I'm going to take scuba diving.
Yeah, but they also have mountain biking where they're going out to 3 peaks and learning everything from how to be really effective pedaling to how to fix your bike when it breaks.
Canyoneering. Backpacking is a class. Winter backpacking is a separate class. Horsemanship it's offered through the agricultural program, but that's another great one.
Oh, great.
Most of these classes are also only half a semester, which is really easy to kind of work into the schedule. And for any student who just needs that 1 or 2 extra credits to fill out their schedule to maintain that full-time status,
right,
these are good options that are fun.
The other piece of it that I really like about those classes is that actually you get to go into those classes, you get to know your fellow professor and students, and so you actually leave those classes with friends.
That's great.
And that's I think the thing that I really like about the outdoor activities is that you're not just gaining skills, like the technical skills, but you're also gaining like those social bonds. You're being able to bond to the places that you go and visit. And you're really learning some great life skills like communication skills, teamwork skills, and people gain a lot of confidence through that.
That's wonderful. So, in case anybody doesn't have the acronyms right, where do they find these classes on the web? If they're looking in the catalog or the specific department page, just to be super clear, everybody can find them.
If you go to the course catalog and you put in ORPT.
Yep.
Outdoor Recreation in Parks and Tourism.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Is what it stands for.
Okay.
And that will give you the list of classes.
That's perfect. Okay, great. All right. Well, I think this is a good time to do our first little musical break. So, I love to turn you guys on to new music and some odd and out there stuff, but I tried to think of what could I do this week? Well, it's Valentine's Day. So regardless of how you feel about that, I have a couple of interesting song titles for you. This first one is by a folk music artist called Jarlath Henderson, and the song title is called Courting is a Pleasure. And this album is the BBC Folk Awards album from 2017. So again, that is Courting is a Pleasure by Jarlath Henderson.
Courting is a pleasure between my love and I, and it's down in yonder valley I will meet her by and by. It's down in yonder valley, she is my heart's delight, and it's with you, lovely Molly, I will stay till the broad daylight. Church on Sunday, my love, she passed me by, and I knew her mind was altered by the roving of her eye. I knew her mind was altered by a lad of high degree. Oh, Molly, lovely Molly, your looks have wounded. Dear Molly, for our courtship is at an end. So is your glass, dear Molly, drink the bottle dry for me, for there are 10 guineas wagered that married will ne'er be. Oh, never court a wee girl with a dark and a roving eye, just kiss her and embrace her. Never tell her the reason why. Just kiss her and embrace her till you cause her heart to yield. For a faint-hearted soldier never gained a battlefield. Oh, farewell, Ballymoney, and to County Antrim too. Likewise, farewell, dear Molly, I will bid you a fond adieu. America lies far away across the ocean blue, and I'm bound for there, dear Molly, and again I'll ne'er see you.
Okay, well, welcome back. You're listening to Thunder 91.1, and this is the A.P.E.X. Hour. My name is Lynn Vartan, and today we are talking all things outdoor rec. And we're going to probably start this conversation. I guess I should remind you what that song was. That was "Courting is a Pleasure" by Jarlath Henderson, the BBC Folk Awards album 2017. But we're back here in the studio with Kevin and Bridget, and I want to start this part of the conversation by talking about Outdoor Nation Challenge, the Outdoor Nation Challenge, the most awesome Outdoor Nation Challenge. Tell us about it. Tell us what happened.
Well, the interesting thing about our participation this year in the Outdoor Nation Campus Challenge was we were asked to come back to the competition after winning in 2015. We then took a break in 2016, and the Outdoor Foundation actually contacted us, and they said, you guys really elevated the competition that you participated. We want you back. We want you participating again.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Right. So that was a nice ego boost for us at SUU, to come back to the competition and participate. So we were able to put together a committee of all different departments across campus to make sure that everybody was participating, everybody was on board, and then just create a nice plan for how we were going to attack the challenge this year and win it like we did.
And tell me a little bit. I mean, I saw a lot of how it was working on the app, and just for maybe people who are listening who aren't aware of how it all works, can you describe the challenges and everything?
It's kind of described as a March Madness meets Mother Nature type competition.
That's great.
Participants didn't have to be necessarily a student. They could be faculty, they could be staff, they could be alumni, they could just be community members who wanted to support SUU, or people who had family members here at SUU. They didn't even need necessarily to be in Utah.
I didn't know that. I thought it was just students, faculty, staff.
So anybody who wanted to sign up through the app, and then it gave the option of what university do you want to support. You were able to select SUU, and participants could then do up to 5 activities per day for different point totals. So something easy like hammocking was worth 2 points. Something more intense like hiking or running was worth 10 points. If you were with a group of people, 3 or more, that was worth additional points. And like I said, participants could do up to 5 activities a day for so many points.
So I got lots of points doing stuff with my kids.
There you go. That's awesome.
Well, and President Wyatt was a great advocate for us as well. He really supported the whole challenge. Every morning he was out at the Sea Trail, having people meet him there to hike for half an hour, and then after hiking up the Sea Trail and back for about half an hour, he would then go for a run. He usually had 3 or 4 activities before 7 o'clock in the morning.
That's amazing. And I also saw pictures of him in a hammock too.
Oh, that's where he would hold his meetings, because activities would have to be a minimum of half an hour long. So to justify the time,
Perfect. And so how long does the challenge, how long of a time period?
It went for 4 weeks.
So it's about a month. Uh-huh. And then is it always in the same month every year?
It's usually around the same time, kind of that September to October era.
So if people don't have the app if they don't have the app right now, they should definitely download it right now, because I'm sure it'll pop up like announcements.
Yeah, they can check it out. It obviously won't be updated until the next
right,
time
but you'll know when
it's
coming.
Right.
So okay,
but I think the cool thing about it was Not just that SUU won by having a lot of people participate, but just the variety of people participating. And really, it was a rallying point for the SUU community.
Yeah. That
we came together and said, we're going to win this challenge. And so that rally point and the fact that it was in the outdoors was just magic.
And I think I think it was like Bridget said, it was a rallying point because I think SUU recognizes that, wait, we are the most outdoorsy school and we should have this title. So going out and claiming it again was validating.
Well, and perfect segue, because we do have all kinds of distinctions of note about our status in the outdoor world and outdoor nation. Do you guys want to tell us about some of those designations that we have?
Recently we were able to trademark Southern Utah University as the University of the Parks.
Woohoo!
Which, right, pretty big deal. And it's part of that title and that claim that we are the most outdoorsy school, and we are located closer to more parks, monuments, public lands than really any other university.
But at the same time, we're not just taking advantage of spending time in those lands. We're actually actively partnering to be active stewards and partners within those lands.
And I know we have tons of partnerships to talk about. And the designation, University of the Parks, is a trademark. It's more than just us deciding this is our title. I mean, I think that's an important distinction, that it's actually a trademark title associated with the university now.
Right.
But, it's interesting in getting people's different perspectives on that, too.
Yeah.
A lot of students are like, hey, that's cool. I'm going to go to the University of the Parks. It makes me sound like I'm cool. But then if you ask, a lot of parents, they're like, I'm not sending my kids to just have fun. Right. I want them to have careers and such. And that's where I think, again, the partnerships and the looking into what it means to be active stewards and really taking care of those lands comes in, because it's through the academic programs and the co-curricular programs that we have where students are gaining hands-on experience and skills by becoming stewards and being partners for that land.
And there are certainly plenty of jobs to be had in the outdoor industry.
Right.
It's a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Right.
It's actually next in line to pharmaceuticals when it comes to gross national product.
Really? Wow, that's a great statistic. Well, let's talk about some of these partnerships that we have. I know we have Semester in the Parks, the
IIC.
IIC. Yep. And so let's pick one and start, and then we'll get to the others.
So we'll start with the IIC. We're going into our 11th year, and it was started by regional public lands folks that were like, you know what, we really have a great place for people to come and learn through hands-on experience. And so the IIC offers internships. Last year, we placed about 250 interns within our region, and the region is pretty big. It goes from Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument all the way over to Great Basin, from the Fish Lake Forest to the north, all the way down to the Parashant in the south.
Wow.
And students from across the university are getting incredible summer and sometimes it goes year-long experience in the fields that they want to go into. So we have wildlife biologist students actually going out and doing goshawk research all summer with the Forest Service. We have students in IT going and working for Zion's IT department in it. We have, again, folks doing visitor use services, interpretation for the park, so they get to give the ranger talks at Cedar Breaks and at Great Basin. But then they also are doing conservation work through crew leaders and being crew leaders for some of our conservation crews, working with high school students. And we do that in the Grand Staircase and the parks and in all of the districts for the National Forest. So
and just to clarify, IIC, I know Kevin mentioned it at the top of the hour. What exactly does that stand for?
So it stands for the Intergovernmental Internship Cooperative. Okay. And we have discussed changing the name multiple times, but then we always come back to, well, that's what we do. We're an intergovernmental cooperative, with the goal of giving people hands-on experience to learn about public lands and to gain real-life career-building, experience.
And just to reemphasize a point I think Bridget was making there is a lot of students hear, public land internship. That's for the outdoor rec majors. That's for the biology majors, and it's not. Right. There's something available for every major. If you have a passion for public lands, there's a way to tie your studies in your major into one of these internships.
But on top of that, there's a lot of folks that are going into nursing or into chemistry, and they go and seek different experiences just to add to their life-based experience.
Right.
But also to really gain communication skills and teamwork skills and all those really great soft skills that employers are looking for. And it does help them stand out in interviews and such, because they can say like, oh yeah, I've had this really great experience working with this wildlife team. So some of my favorite interns are actually the ones that are like, I'm going into nursing, but I'm going to be on a wildlife crew this summer.
That's so
that
cool.
I can really learn about the lands that are in my backyard, but also really kind of understanding and being a steward for those lands.
And are the internships of varying lengths and varying amounts of, are they all the same?
The majority of them start in May and go through August. So summer
internships.
Summer internships. The other great thing, and again, this goes back to the committee of public land leaders that started it, was like, we want to give our interns a living wage. And so it's actually internships that are fully paid, and people are able to actually make enough money to make their lives easier during the semesters.
That's amazing.
And then there's a handful of interns and internships that are 20 hours during the fall semester and the spring semester, so that it does become like a year-long experience.
So if students listening are interested in getting more information or becoming eligible, or are there eligibility requirements? How do you get into this?
So the application is online, and if you just Google SUU IIC, it'll take you right there. And you can look at all of the all of the postings that are available. And again, it really is everything from wildlife to accounting to visitor services, youth education. And you can pick out the ones that are interested to you. You fill out a resume. You put, you don't fill out the resume. You fill out the application.
Right.
You send in your resume and a lot of times a cover letter. And then the mentor, and that's the other thing about this program, is that you're assigned a mentor within the public lands.
Oh.
It doesn't necessarily become your boss. They do guide you through the day-to-day stuff. But they make sure, again, that it's a good educational experience and that you're just learning. You're not just doing the grunt work, but you are doing the learning part of it too.
Are the mentors all SUU people?
No,
or?
they're the public land professionals.
Okay.
That are kind of, I guess, helping the students have really great learning experiences. But they also are the ones that need to get work done on the ground.
Right.
And so they're interested in finding the applicants that are going to be good interns, show up on time, and actually ask good questions and be enthusiastic about the work that they're going to do.
Right. So if you're listening out there and you're like, wow, that sounds really cool. I'm definitely looking for a summer job and I'm passionate about the outdoors, or just want to get some of that kind of land-based experience, you just Google IIC or SUU IIC. Do you need?
If you Google SUU IIC, it'll take you right there.
And then you just look at the listings. Are there opportunities to design internships? What if somebody comes and they say, I don't see anything here that fits my thing, but I really want to be involved? Should they come find, they just keep looking back, or?
It's more, the internships are created because that's what the need is on the ground.
I see.
And so they're trying to, again, like fill in the need for folks to do wildlife monitoring. And I keep coming back to that, but,
right.
And visitor services and trail crews and things like that. So there is the need base for it as well.
And is there a particular time of year when people should, is now the time to be looking?
Now.
Okay.
So they're looking through applications as we speak.
Okay.
And a lot of the postings are going to be closing in the next month. So right now is the time to start looking.
Okay, great. Well, I think we'll take another musical break and then we'll come back and talk about Semester in the Parks, which is a super unique program and really, really awesome. So the song I'm going to play for you now here on Thunder 91.1 is called, in our Valentine theme, it's called Deadly Valentine, and it's by Charlotte Gainsborough, and it's on her album Rest. And again, this is the A.P.E.X. Hour, and you're listening to Thunder 91.1. Okay, well, that was Charlotte Gainsborough, Deadly Valentine on her album Rest. This is Lynn Vartan, and we are back here with the A.P.E.X. Hour on KSUU Thunder 91.1. And I'm joined in the studio by Bridget and Kevin, and we are just having a cool conversation about all things outdoors here at Southern Utah University. And I want to rejoin our conversation talking about our cool partnership program that's called Semester in the Parks. So, Kevin, I think you're going to tell us about that.
Yeah, the Semester in the Parks program, it's again, pretty unique to Southern Utah University. I like to think of it as kind of a study abroad, but rather than going abroad, the students get to live at Bryce Canyon. They get to work at one of the resorts close to there. And during the course of the semester, they're able to visit all of our surrounding parks and monuments and different public lands. And they have a course load that kind of incorporates the themes of public lands and preservation, conservation, stewardship, and just kind of honing those outdoor skills all together. It's a 15 credit.
So it's an entire, as we said, it's semester in the park. So how does that work in terms of their normal course study? So you said it's like a study abroad. So do they just kind of take that semester and this is that semester? So it sort of replaces a semester in a way? Yeah.
All of the classes are taken, like I said, as a cohort. So all the students have all the same classes together. And yeah, they spend that whole semester with that group of students and kind of visiting these different amazing places.
But it's really fun because the professors actually come to you and you have a classroom in Bryce Canyon right off the rim.
That's amazing.
And from there, a lot of the professors are like, okay, let's go out into the park and look at the different aspects that the park offers to learn about the content in the courses.
And they stay where exactly?
They stay at Ruby's Inn, which is just right outside the entrance to Bryce Canyon there.
And they also work, right? And
it's part of the it's part of the course load, really. As the there's the hospitality kind of portion of that, and the students earn a certificate in interdisciplinary park studies.
Oh, that's great. So what's an example of the kind of work that they're doing? They're waiting tables or they're doing...
It does depend on really the student and the experience that they bring in. But again, most of the students end up working in hospitality. That's the fancy way of saying you get to change a lot of beds. And doing those pieces of it. But Ruby's Inn is really also dedicated to the learning experience. Mm-hmm. So one, they do need that work to be done. And part of the reason that this experience works is because we're able to help them with the shoulder season.
I see.
So we provide those workers to do the hospitality work that they need to do. But on top of that, they're like, okay, let's give you some experience with guiding tours. Or, we've had students that have had hospitality background, so they end up, she also spoke French, so that helped. But she ended up working at the front desk. And so there are different things that you can do within it, but most of them end up changing a lot of beds.
Yeah. And then how many hours a day are they in class? Like what's a typical day in the semester in the park student?
So typical days, you wake up, normal time, and then you go to work and you work in the morning.
Okay.
You get a break, and then you go to class in the afternoon. And the classes, you have a different class focus each day.
Okay.
So you'll have English one day, and then you'll have Southern Utah Flora the next day. You'll have Criminal Justice the next day. You'll have Americans in the Outdoors the next day. And then every other weekend, you have the field lab time with those courses, and you go and visit Lake Mead or Gold Butte or Zion or
Great Basin.
Yeah. So you really get to know the different parks within it. But you don't just visit them because you're looking at it through those different lenses and trying to understand the parks. Like, all right, how does criminal justice help conserve this park?
Right.
And then how in American in the Outdoors, you're really looking at like, what's the value of the parks to our society, and how can the parks offer that experience to the visitors in the best way?
And what's the visitor experience, and how are those visitors managed? A lot of the same kind of challenges that Superintendent Jeff Brady spoke about today during his presentation.
And so the faculty for Semester in the Parks comes from specifically the faculty in the outdoor education area, or is it across the board?
It's across the board. So in 2018 in the fall, we have Laura Walker from English, we have Sam Wells from biology, we have Kelly Goonan from outdoor recreation, we have Brian Burton from criminal justice, and then we have Ann Smith also from outdoor recreation. And then I get to help with the field trips.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
And then, so they cut 2 weekends. They're exploring and learning. And do they, is there free time set up? I mean, do they come back into town? Do you know how they handle the rest of their time?
It does become, again, downtime. Well, I guess the best way to say is like downtime for them to have lives.
Right.
Which, when you're doing an immersion semester,
right,
is really appreciated. And it's just time to do your homework, to catch up with friends, to take the time that you need to make sure that you're rejuvenated and healthy.
Explore the parks, hike the trails, do the fun things that are out there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a cool concept. And this concept, we've been doing this for how long? 2 years?
2 years. We're going to be offering our third year.
And it's both semesters, or
it's just the fall semester.
Fall semester only.
Yep. And again, my favorite way to do things on the web is just to Google it. So if you Google SUU Semester in the Parks, it'll take you to that homepage, and applications are due mid-March.
So again,
they're already being accepted. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So now's the time, right? This is the time to be looking. If you're interested in this, I mean, totally go check it out.
Yep. It's only, our cap is 15 students to be able to give the experience that we want to.
Wow.
And so we do need people to actually apply, but on time, so that we can make sure that we get the best cohort possible.
Right. So if you're out there and you're feeling super passionate about it, get on it right away. Google Semester in the Parks SUU and take a look at the application. But time is running out. It seems like you're probably getting pretty close to having that locked down. So that's such a cool program. And I think probably maybe the only one. There's maybe something similar, but not to this extent. I mean, this is just such a special opportunity to have a study abroad, but yet also nearby, but yet in a completely different environment in Bryce Canyon. So
and earn a certificate in a single semester, which is also kind of unique.
That's great. And how do you guys feel about some of the topics that we were talking about today? Do you have any comments on, we were talking about conservation, preservation. Do you have any suggestions or thoughts about anything that students or our listeners, anything we should be aware of that we should be doing, or advice that you have that you'd like to impart?
Bridget, you want to tell them about the sustainability minor?
Oh.
Yeah. Yep. SUU does have a sustainability minor, and we've just worked with a group of faculty to rework it. But it is a unique lens. And I guess the way that I look at majors and minors is it gives you a perspective to interact with the world. Some of them you just dedicate to your profession, but otherwise you can take the sustainability minor, add it to the major that you're doing, and just see the world through a different lens. And so you'll be looking at and asking the questions is like, how can we help our society be sustainable? And in that, it's not just, I guess, the scarcity part of it, but it's being sustainable and really being like a healthy society. And some of that is going to be looking at the ways that we use energy, the ways that we interact with the outdoors, the ways that we build things and utilize resources so that it's not just for our generation, but it's for future generations as well.
That's amazing that we have that as well. All right, I'm going to play one last song, and then we're going to come back with what is fast turning into everybody's favorite part of the radio show, which is asking you guys about what's turning you on right now, books, TV, movies, all that kind of stuff, getting into the nitty gritty and getting some inspiration for our listeners. But before we do that, I have one last song, and this one is not Valentine related, but it's maybe Olympics related. I've been watching a lot of the Winter Olympics, and This is a group that I mentioned last week called Grand Tapestry that I think is really interesting from their album titled Grand Tapestry. And this song is called Champion. And once again, you are listening to the A.P.E.X. Hour on Thunder 91.1 KSUU.
Way up into the stratosphere, though. You cheer me on, I watch my fears go. Cause I'm your man when no one else shows. I'm your champion, I see the way you build me up and push me. I need you in my corner with me. The love you give me makes my heart beat like a champion. Running, they running, they running, they run. Keep 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 running, they running, they running, they run.
What camp we from? Champion, our hearts beat the anthem in. Uncap the pen, tap within. The art calls the answer up. Filter out the cancer cause the spark is adventurous. Go anywhere, be a player with a sense of must. I ain't talking stenches, sitting benches, but inventing stuff. That's more up the alley. Form a rally, get your fitness right. Lift a heavy load, let your every muscle grow. Know your mind is no exception, all directions flow. The highest height, my tears fight. The deftest blow, ideas like far beyond. The rest will know, deep from the soul, through the body to the Super Bowl. World Cup, World Series, Championship, Hoopers go. No watching, show-stopping heroes that the youth know. Late nights, early morning, training like a true pro. Never say it can't be done. Mom ain't raised no Sanford son. This the type of champ we on. Yep, I'm a champion.
I go way up into the stratosphere, though. You cheer me on, I watch my fears go. Cause I'm your man when no one else shows. I'm your champion, I see the way you build me up and push me. I need you in my corner with me. The love you give me makes my heart beat like a champion. Running, they running, they running, they run. Keep 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 running, they running, they running, they run.
Step to the line, gunshot pop and I'm off to the races all day. Stay on the grind, trying to get better every day, train hard in the hallway. Running my laps, energy on tap, shine bright like the lights on a Friday night to the Sunday morning. I'ma get my champ like the song say, we prefer the long way. If it's not worth, then it's not worth it. If it don't hurt, then it's not perfect. Cause I gotta learn. If it's not burning, then I'm not moving. Not putting in the effort, make a turn to the conduit. Cause the conduit is the God that I'm moving through. I'm moving at the speed of light. Used to be the reader right. Now we're winning battles in the heat of night. Cause we gotta wake up and train. We gotta wake up the brain. We gotta take up a cause. We gotta pick up a lane. We gotta push it to the limit. I'm not waiting for another light to champion the track beats. And on my feet, I wanna compete. I wanna complete. I'm not a petite, so I got big goals and I will reach them in the time I'm meant to be. I see the light, the champion provides the spark I need to make the final lap of victory.
I go way up into the stratosphere, though. You cheer me on, I watch my fears go. Cause I'm your man when no one else shows. I'm your champion, I see the way you build me up and push me. I need you in my corner with me. The love you give me makes my heart beat like a champion. Running, they running, they running, they run. Keep 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 running, they running, they running, they
Okay, well, welcome back. This is Lynn Vartan. You're listening to the A.P.E.X. Hour here on KSUU Thunder 91.1. That song that you just heard is Olympic inspired. It's called Champion by Grand Tapestry on the album Grand Tapestry. We have just a few minutes left here for the A.P.E.X. Hour this week, and we're going to do the thing that everybody seems to be loving, which is what's turning you on this week. So I'm going to start with you, Bridget. What's turning you on? And it could be books, movies, TV, podcasts. What's something you'd like to share that you're really excited about?
Well, I'm going to say that the book that has gotten me to think the most in the last 6 months is Florence Williams' The Nature Fix. And in that, I get to talk about my soapbox. Because it's all about how the outdoors is good for people. Our brains are wired for it. It makes you a better thinker. It makes your body work better. It helps you create social bonds. It helps you create meaning for your life. And so it actually takes the time to go through the research and tell the stories that we all need to be connected to the natural world.
And can you tell us the title and author of that book again?
Yep. It's Florence Williams, and it's The Nature Fix.
You are not the first time I've heard of this book this week, and stay tuned. We may be researching trying to get her out to SUU as an A.P.E.X. future speaker. So let's fingers crossed for that.
But I also have to say that my passion in this world is to connect people to the outdoors, and especially for learning. And I really have seen it time and time again. If you're a stressed out student in the library, take the time, walk around our beautiful campus, because we have a park for our campus.
So true.
And I can guarantee you that your brain is going to work better, and you're going to be able to focus and actually enjoy what you're doing instead of just being stressed out.
Midterms are coming up, so everybody get outside and take a look around. That's great advice. Thank you. Kevin, how about you? What's inspiring you right now?
I've been reading Glory Land. It's by Shelton Johnson. It's the story of a buffalo soldier who serves in Yosemite National Park before the Park Service existed, and the parks were kind of being overseen by the cavalry and kind of regulated that way. So it's a very interesting perspective on early park maintenance, so to speak.
That's amazing. Tell us the name and the title and author again.
The title is Glory Land, and the author is Shelton Johnson.
And again, another sort of A.P.E.X. plug, right? This has been one that's come down the pike as a suggestion for future events. So we may see what we can do to find these people on campus. Well, that is so cool. Do either of you have any final words or any final things you'd like to promote or announce?
There's so many great opportunities here at SUU. I know students often get bogged down with classwork. They feel like, oh, I want to go on a trip. I don't have time, or I want to go to the park. I can't get away from this project or this paper or this presentation that I'm working on. You gotta make the time, really. You gotta make the time to do the things that you want to do. Otherwise, you'll never find it.
And I'll up the ante for that. Because one of the reasons that SUU has the EDGE program, especially the outdoor EDGE I'll put in, is for people to actually say, I want to learn, and then you fill in the blank and you create a project to do it. And the outdoor EDGE projects are the ones that I love so much, because it's people that really want to learn or do something, and then they figure out how to do it. So we have people that are... one of my favorites is he built a canoe. Mm-hmm. And in that, he wanted to learn woodworking skills so that he could go out and be a better theater teacher.
Perfect.
In it. So there's projects like that. And so I think that you find what you want to do and you can turn it into your EDGE project. Get that requirement out of the way by doing something that you love.
Well, I love it. Thank you guys so much for your time today. I really appreciate getting to know everything we have to offer here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. And so you heard it all. If you want to, even anything from going camping, come down and check out the Outdoor Center here in the Sharwin Smith Center, right across from the Welcome Center. Or if you want to look at class offerings online or get involved with the internship program or semester in the parks, get busy with your Google and find out ways to get outside and experience our awesome landscape. So that's all the time we have here on the Apex Hour, KSUU Thunder 91.1. My name is Lynn Vartan. Join us next week. We're going to have Claudia Bradshaw in the house. She is the St. George PFLAG founder, and she's an incredible ally for the LGBTQ plus community. And she's going to tell her story of her journey with her son into the new world that she is loving today. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week on the Apex Hour. So much for listening to the Apex Hour here on KSUU Thunder 91.1. Come find us again next Thursday at 3 p.m. for more conversations with the visiting guests at Southern Utah University and new music to discover for your next playlist. And in the meantime, we would love to see you at our events on campus. To find out more, check out suu.edu/apex or email us at suuapex@icloud.com. Until next week, this is Lynn Vartan saying goodbye from the Apex Hour here on Thunder 91.1.